Something I love about tabletop RPGs is the sheer amount of different genres and styles of games that are out there. People tend to think about D&D with its fantasy setting, but there are so many other games out there covering a staggering amount of subjects and settings. With that in mind, it can be extremely important to tell your players what to expect when playing any particular RPG, especially if you're mixing and mashing different genres and creating your own world and story. As a player, you want to be able to make an informed decision about your character. You don't want to just show up with an exuberant talking elephant named Commander Sparkles to a gritty, serious crime drama game. Or the dark, brooding Detective Callahan with nothing left to lose. In a light, high fantasy power of friendship adventure. Or that is exactly what you want to do because it can be fun to subvert tropes and character expectation. And that's fine. Sometimes. But you want that to be a decision you make and not just something you happen to stumble into. This also extends far beyond just making sure you're bringing the right type of character to the right type of game. As a GM, you can also run into a lot of trouble if you don't set your players' expectations for the type of game you're going to be running. The first time I GM'd was for my friends back in college. We were playing the Star Wars role-playing game, and I had planned a galaxy-spanning mystery full of intrigue and deception. But my players were treating it like a beat-em-up, showing up, kicking the crap out of everyone, and leaving without doing any investigation. It was extremely frustrating, and I could not figure out why they would not engage with my carefully crafted, subtle mystery. A few years later, while reminiscing with my players, they finally realized those early games were mysteries. Turns out they were not great detectives. Maybe because they didn't know they were supposed to be great detectives. A lot of these problems can be easily solved by running a session 0, where the players and the GM come together before the first session starts to roll up characters, talk about the game, the setting, and their expectations. D&D 5th edition does a great job of giving you tools to help establish the tone of your game. In the Dungeon Master's Guide, starting on page 38, there's a great section describing different flavors of fantasy. This can be an excellent place to start. It gives you and your players some common terms to define what kind of game you're playing and avoid confusion. It can also inspire GMs and help them solidify their ideas. I found this section personally very helpful. It helped me articulate to my players what kind of games I typically like to run and what they can expect to see. A swashbuckling dark fantasy mystery adventure. If you're curious what that looks like, most of the time you solve a mystery by dropping a chandelier on a racist. I want to thank everyone for watching. We've seen a lot of support for the channel lately, and it is very appreciated. If there's a question you have about RPGs or a topic you'd like to see us cover in the future, let us know in the comments. We'll see you next time.